Okay, so I thought I'd post a picture of my first aquaponics. So here's a little video. I've got 3 little tubs all hooked up, and they are hooked up to a 90cm fish tank. So it originally started off that I had a free fish tank and had the thought, why not utilise this kitchen sink that I also had going on an old barbecue frame, bit of recycling, and got it going. So we have into the sink is where everything drains. So we get lots of aeration in there. You can see I've got a couple of shells just to keep the pH down to a reasonable level. And that's just fish. Those are filters from my other fish tanks, which had been providing a few nutrients to the system. So today I actually put in some fish, which is why I'm going for the first time. You can see that I've got some lettuces in the first bed. This one here is just a constant flood bed, not bled. And we've got lots of little lettuces coming through. I put in a punnet of mixed lettuce to start with, and this first one here is not feeling too well, but you know, after a week she's starting to come up. The others are growing nicely. This bed here is an auto siphon bed. It's got about a 5-minute cycle, which essentially it's a constant flow, but it was good fun to get going. And there's something about constant flow, about the auto siphon, that just watching it go is just quite amazing, really. And then over here I have a raft bed, and these are absolutely loving it. So I put these mints in a couple of weeks back, and as you can see, they're going a little bit nuts. They were just tiny little sprigs, and they've certainly decided to take off, and we've started to get some new sprigs. This is all new growth. It's fantastic. Coriander in the middle here, 3 coriander beds, and some Chinese veggies here, which they'll get eaten soon. There's nothing really in this one, in the auto siphon yet. The herbs, which were just cuttings, and then they haven't really taken off, so I'm not really worried about them. But I'll have to plant in something good soon and hopefully get some seeds going. So I did throw in a packet of various seeds just to see if they would go or not, but they haven't gone, so I'm not worried about it. So today, as I said, I've put in 3 little fish in here. Oh, sorry, there's 5 or 6 little fish in here. My son went and chose them with my wife. There are only little goldfish in this one because I figure this tank's going to be a test tank, and we'll see how it all goes. There's lots of aeration, as you can see. There's 2 aeration points at the back there because we've got the flood from the water coming in, and then we've also got a drain out the back because this pump is just much too big for this little setup. But I don't have another small pump. I've got a couple of rocks in there just to give the fish some shelter, because there's quite a suck in that room, in that tank. So yeah, there we go. I've had to put I'll show you the piping setup that I've got. So this here is the drain pipe back to the main system, back to the main tank. I've had to put that in because if I didn't have that there was just too much flow, and it was all just going straight down and back into the main system, back into the tank, rather than flowing out into the various tanks and into the various tubs, the grow beds. So you can see they've all got ball valves on them just to provide some flow restriction. Otherwise, it's just way too much flow, and they just overflow. It's quite a large pump for this little tank. So, oh well, I'll have to do an update soon. The water, I'll talk about the pH levels. I've had these running for about 4 weeks now, just cycling, and it's taken that long for the pH levels to balance out, and the nitrogen levels from the ammonia to settle down. In the first week, with a little bit of humonia in there, it was cycling at a level of about 8 parts per million plus, and this week it's down to 0 parts per million. But the I've certainly got the fish in there because the nitrate levels had dropped back to 0, which says to me that the plants have been sucking some of it up, as well as this algae here. So to fight the algae, I've actually grabbed some of my little water snails, which are wild water snails, from when I've collected some weed to go in my fish tanks, and yeah, I've put those in, and so hopefully they'll munch on the algae. You can probably see a little snail just here. I don't know if he's going to focus or not. My iPhone might not focus on it, but that little block there is a little snail, and he's munching on algae. So they don't actually eat the plants; they just munch on the algae that grows in them. So that should help with that. So let's see if we can see any of the plants. I've got this over not the plants, the fish. Yeah, there's some fish. You can see there's lots of airflow in there. So, oh well. Here's my first attempt. We'll see how it all goes. I've got this hessian here just to stop the sun hitting the tank and causing algae problems. So, and it should also help regulate the heat. Oh, signing off, and I'll hopefully have some good news in a couple of weeks' time when we are able to harvest either some Chinese vegetables, some coriander, or maybe even some lettuces. Okay, cheers.